Hello guys, hopefully you can hear me and see pictures. Today we're going to go through the Japan pictures, and I know a lot of you have been looking forward to seeing some of the photos from our trip to Japan, but I just want to leave it a few minutes and leave you with this lovely picture of the scenery just as we were coming into Helsinki airport. That was our stop off. Lovely snow. We don't see much snow where I live, so it was lovely to see. I am just going to go and make myself a cup of tea and leave you to look at this picture for a minute, and then I will be back and we will start looking at some of the pictures and our journey. I will see you in a minute, guys. Okay guys, I am back again with my cup of tea. So this is the flight. So that we flew with Finnair. Flight was very nice. Service wasn't that great, and the food was bloody horrible. Sorry, Finnair. But that's the way it was. But the planes were very comfy and new, so that was all nice, and the entertainment was average, so that was good enough. So yeah, this is coming into Helsinki, and for those of you that don't know, Helsinki is the capital of Finland. So up there, up north, so plenty of snow there. And one thing about Finland is the chocolate is bloody awesome. So took a couple of pictures of some of their chocolates that me and Mr. Trophy just couldn't resist. So they went in the bag, came along with us to Japan, and they were very, very delicious. So yes, all very delicious, very similar layout. They all had like a truffly sort of bit in them and a crunchy sort of crispy chocolate coating. Oh, they were nice. This one here, Pat Kiss, was slightly minty. It had like a really mild mint flavour. It was really nice. But I think my favourite was the geisha. Tupelo was really good as well. That's enough about chocolate. Let's move on. There's a little chunky lump having a rest at the airport. Anyone would think I've been travelling for hours and hours, but no. That was just the start of the journey. And yeah, these are a luxury, these reclined seats at airports. A lot of the time it's nice to have a little nap if you've got a few hours to wait. So that's a little chunky at the airport. Okay, so this is the day we arrived at Tokyo, and this rather pleasant, kind of out of place looking building, I suppose, is Tokyo Central Station. So I think it was built later than it appears, but there's been like quite a lot of times when they've hi Wolfie, welcome in. Just going through some of the pictures from Japan. So this building was built later than it looks, but it is a fantastic building, and it just looks really strange because it's surrounded by like skyscrapers and that, so it's I'm excited. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. So this was the first day in Japan. As you can see, it was raining a little bit, which isn't really a surprise at this time of year for Japan, so that's why everyone carries their umbrellas, even motorbikes and mopeds and that, they even carry their umbrellas on there. So yeah, lovely Tokyo Station. This is the outskirts of the Imperial Palace in the yeah, that's Tokyo Central Station, Wolfie. This is the so this is, if you turn around sort of 90 degrees from the photo that I've just shown you, this is kind of what you would see. So this is the external wall to the Imperial Palace, and the moat. So this is quite a big open green area in Tokyo. I don't think I got many photos of it because it was raining and we were just out for a little bit of fresh air and that. But there's roads that run along here. You can see the cursor, that get quite busy at times. And then if you turn 90 degrees again and walk forward, that takes you into the sort of Imperial Palace Gardens. Okay, so the first day after the rainy day was dry and sunny, and we decided to go to Yokohama, which is about 20 minutes on the bullet train, 20 minutes on the Shinkansen. That's the Japanese word for bullet train. Down from Tokyo, down to the coast, and they've just got such a massive amount of skyscrapers and buildings there. It's a massive city, and perching in the middle of the city is this fairground. Now, we did go in the fairground, but I can tell you now, there is no way I was getting on this thing. That is just terrifying. And it actually goes down into the ground and underground. And me and Mr. Trophy was very scared to go on that one. But we did go on this big Ferris wheel. One of our favourite things, if ever we go away, is to go on big Ferris wheels or famous Ferris wheels. We have been on the Singapore Flyer, which is massive. It's a bit like the London Eye, which we've been on as well. And we've also been on a very, very old Ferris wheel in Vienna, Austria, which was a bit creaky, that one. But this one was lovely, and it went round nice and slow, so we could get a few photos and that. And if you're wondering about the weather, yes, a heat wave started the day after we got there, and then it finished the day we left. So we had lovely weather all through the trip. It was sort of like in the early 20s, so it was Celsius, so that was rather pleasant. Okay, move on. So this photo, this little van got right in the way, so we were just trying to take a photo of this crazy looking truck here, and it was like, had all lights along the side, and it had this great big, like, I don't know, bumper at the front, and it had all kind of crazy lights all on it. See quite a few of these trucks in Tokyo and Japan, and they're all very brightly painted, or they've got sort of like unusual sort of decoration on them. It was quite a sight, that one. But this little car pulled up just before Mr. Trophy could get the photo done. That was one of his photos. Okay, so this is one of the views from the top of the Ferris wheel. So this is going around on the Ferris wheel, and this is the sort of like the theme park or the fun park down here. You can see parts of the fun park, and the rest of the place is just absolutely covered with these sort of buildings. Okay, so this is looking back at Yokohama from further down the coast. So we just had a lovely walk along the seafront down here behind this boat, and then heading for the Gundam factory. And looking back, you can see the big buildings, but just here in the centre you can see the Ferris wheel if you look very carefully. It's very nice and clear on my screen because I'm looking at it on a 55-inch screen, so but you might need a little magnifying glass to see that. So that was where the sort of Ferris wheel was, and it kind of gives you a scale of how big that was. As you've got the buildings standing next to it, it was absolutely huge, and it wasn't actually the biggest in the world. So I think that's in America somewhere. Okay, so this is the Gundam factory. That's me there. That's my. You can always tell me by the colour of my hair. Okay, so this is where they make Gundams. So if you don't know, Gundams are giant robots, and you can see there's one just round here. it was quite warm, and we decided that we would just take some photos from outside because it was quite busy. I think we got some more photos of that here. So yep, this is the Gundam here, full size, and it does actually move, guys. It does actually walk forward and do some actions very slowly, but yeah, that was pretty cool. But there should be some video in here somewhere, so if we get to the video where the Gundam's moving, I'll shut up and just let us watch the video, because I think there's a couple in here, or one in here somewhere. So you can see like it's moved forward, its leg is bent here, and it's held up by this great big thing, so it's not freestanding, it is held up. And now he's pointing up at the sky for some reason. I'll just flick through these. This, yeah, this looks like it could be the video. It's a bit wobbly, so sorry about that. I'm not sure if there's any. Let me just check, because there should be some volume on here. So let's whack it up and see. Come on, play. Play, 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 play. There we go. So this is quite a long video, so we'll just watch for a minute. It's a few minutes long. I'll drink some of my tea. think Gundams would be very useful if they moved as slowly as this one. Okay, so that's pretty much what the Gundam does. It's not all that exciting, but it's a bit of fun. Um, you might have noticed, like, just at the end there, people crouching down and running across the front of the video. Um, in Japan, people are so polite. Normally, if you're taking a photo, they will stop and wait for you to take the photo before they walk in front of you, or they will walk behind you, or they will crouch like that you saw in the video there. So very polite nation. Okay, so the next day we went to Ueno Park, and Ueno Park is one of my favourite places. It's a very, how can I put it? It's, you go to a lot of Japanese parks like Shinjinku Garden, and it is all very sculptured, and all the trees are very, trimmed to perfection, and it is beautiful and that. But Ueno Park is more of a meeting area. It's more of a sort of like a picnic park. It's busier, and the cherry blossoms are awesome there, as you can see. So this sort of main path that goes down through the centre of Ueno Park, it splits into multiple paths, is just lined with cherry trees, and the cherry blossoms were very good when we went there first time. And at the end of the slides that I've got, photos that I've got, you will see a photo that was taken about 7 or 8 days after this one, and you'll see a lot of the cherry blossoms are already gone. So that just goes to show you how short the season is. Normally 2 to 3 weeks. Also, a favourite fun thing to do that me and Mr. Trophy do, because we're quite immature, is we will sit on a bench or sit on a wall, and we will watch people go past, and we will look at their shoes. Now, we do this because there are some crazy fashions in Japan, and in Tokyo you get a whole mix of different fashions, and you can see some crazy shoes and clothing, but mainly the shoes. So we usually spot crazy shoes, silly shoes. They have like businessmen with like their smart shoes on that look like clown shoes because they are so long. You have like little old park wardens that walk around in sort of like shoes that they've made from plastic bags. It's that crazy. So what we'll do for each day is we'll sit down for a little while, just chill out, and we'll just look for silly shoes, and then we choose a winning pair for each day. It's just a little bit of fun. Yeah, as I say, the fashions are incredibly varied. Nothing is outrageous there. You can wear anything. When we went for cherry blossom season, it was Hanami time, which is Hanami is like a festival of cherry blossoms, and it is where everyone gets their picnic blankets out and they go and picnic under the cherry blossoms, and in the evenings the sake comes out and the businessmen finish work and go down to the parks, and they're there till late evening, getting drunk really. The Japanese people love it simply for that reason, that they have a reason to go and get drunk and be merry and socialise. During this time as well, they have a lot of food stalls, like street food that appear in the parks, which is fantastic as well. So let's see. This particular photo, you can see some of the sort of like weird fashions. Like you've got some chap here with really wide trousers on. The wide trousers again, really big at the moment. This lady here seems to be dressed in some sort of red trousers under a dress, quite flary dress. Yeah, it's kind of anything goes. And the Japanese people love to see the blossoms as well, so you get quite... Okay. Oh, sorry guys. Okay, just a little video walking down the road there, or the path in Ueno. Okay, so this is one of the stalls, food stalls. I'm not sure what they were. It looks like they are selling here. I can see it could be some form of dumplings, or it could be they do scallops like that as well, sea scallops. So that's a food stall there. Okay, so this chap here in this mask. So a lot of people still wear masks in Japan at the moment because of the coronavirus, and they've always worn masks because they have such a high population in a small area. So to them, wearing masks is quite normal without COVID being a problem. So if you get a cold or a cough or anything like that in Japan, then it is polite to wear a mask, and most of the people do wear masks if they get a cold or a cough. You can see through the lovely cherry blossom here again, and there's like a very old style Japanese building here, and it could be something like a tea house. Okay, and you can see like the picnic blankets here as well. People picnicking, enjoying with their family. Okay, so this is a view from a small hill in Ueno Park, looking out over the edge of the park to surrounding Tokyo. You can see all the big buildings here. And down here is where Mr. Trophy was heading every time, because this is where all the good food was. So, yeah, lovely picture of Blossom again. This is just a little sort of brook that runs through the park as well. It's quite pretty. At the moment, they have got these green fences up to stop people from picnicking in the certain areas. Okay, so at the bottom end of the park, towards the food area, is the lake. So it's quite a huge lake. And cherry blossoms all around the edge, and you can see in the water here all the cherry blossoms are starting to blow off the trees and settle on the water. Around the edge, I'll just show you around the back here, around the path that went back round here, there was lots of sort of it was like a car boot sale. It was like bric-a-brac and old china, sort of like sake bottles and sake cups, all sorts of stuff they were selling on stalls like a car boot sale. They had a monkey there doing tricks, but I didn't take any photos because I don't like animals being exploited like that, so no, didn't entertain that at all. This is the lake, and they've got the swan pedlos, and more cherry blossom there you can see. So over here, this area right over here is part of Ueno Zoo, and we did go to the zoo on another day, but I didn't take many pictures in the zoo because I've been there before, and we just had a relaxing day walking around looking at the animals. It's a very nice zoo. The animals have amazing enclosures. They've got giant pandas, polar bears, huge bears, huge brown bears, and all sorts in there. But there might be a couple of pictures of that later on. Okay, so as we walk round the lake, we come to this rather lovely spot with this sort of old-fashioned sort of Japanese building and the cherry blossoms. It was a really beautiful day, yeah. Yeah, Wolfie, it's an amazing culture, amazing pride in their country as well. How clean they keep it, and how you don't see very much rubbish around. You won't see a Japanese person dropping rubbish unless they have some sort of dementia or something like that. We did witness an old lady feeding the pigeons, and she was definitely suffering from some sort of dementia, and she was throwing the bags of rubbish on the floor, which was like me and Brennan, me and Mr. Trophy, we kind of sort of looked at her and thought, what the heck's going on there, you know, because you just don't see it. This is Mr. Trophy, the lovely Mr. Trophy, look, and he has his fish on a stick. He's so happy. He loves the street food there, and unfortunately, when I arrived in Japan, I was feeling a little nauseous, and the smell of some of the seafood was really making my stomach turn a little bit, so I couldn't eat the street food for a couple of days until I felt a little bit better. But yeah, he loves the old cooked whole fish on a stick. This is Ueno, part of the park. There's a small temple area at the bottom, and this is the actual temple here. And you can buy sort of things to tie up on the. You string them up on the little prayers and wishes that you can string up on the. They've got these little things outside the temple that you can tie them onto. Okay, and this is the pagoda in Ueno Park. So I think it's a 5-story one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5-story pagoda. Now, in a lot of these pagodas, they always say that the top, in the very top, is one of Buddha's teeth. So that is a common belief, but the amount that I've seen of these 5-story pagodas, Buddha had a hell of a lot of teeth. Oh, glad you caught me online. Yeah, I'm glad you popped in, Wolfie. It's really lovely to see you, my lovely friend. I love my Wolfie. Okay, so food stalls, guys. So you see they set tables up so you can sit down and eat. Japanese people have quite good manners, so there are some rules that you should follow, but I'm a bit naughty and I don't always follow them. So you shouldn't walk and eat, so you should always stop or sit and eat. So you go to the stalls, you buy your food, then you sit down or stand still and eat. They don't like you sitting on the floor, so Japanese people won't sit on the floor very often. They might sit on a small low wall, but generally you either stand or sit at a seating area and eat. And you can see this, there's quite a few food stalls running down this path here, and they did some really delicious food there. They were doing sort of like a yakitori, which is like a kebab type thing, which is a wooden stick with like pork belly stuffed on it with spring onions and stuff like that, and then they put like the sauce on, and it's all grilled and delicious. They did. Mr. Trophy had something, and I can't remember what it was made of, but I think it had some fish and stuff in it, and I know it had tuna flakes on it, but he really loved it. It was very comfort food type, very stodgy and heavy and delicious. We had some little pancake characters, which was Hello Kitty and Doraemon, because we're a bit immature like that sometimes, and I love pancake. What else did I had it was like a pastry sort of crossed with suet pudding, and it was filled with like a leek sauce sort of stuff, and they cooked it in. That was so delicious. Yeah, it was like really lovely soft thick pastry. Yummy. Oh, I can remember it now. Yeah, there was loads and loads of sort of traditional street food there. It was delicious. Okay, just going to pause this. Okay, so this is the next day, and we went to Shibuya and Harajuku and Shinjinku, and these are areas around Tokyo. So Tokyo's a really, really big city. Over 13 million people live in this city, and there are certain areas around Tokyo. So you get sort of like Ueno, where we were, where the zoo is and the park. Then there's like central Tokyo, where the central station is, and then there's Ginza, which was just below that area, and that's where we stayed. We were based in Ginza because it was about a 10-minute walk to the station, in easy transport. Then sort of like if you work your way round anti-clockwise, you get Shinagawa. There's a great aquarium there in Shinagawa that we visited last time we went. Then working your way sort of southwest is Shibuya, and then there's like Harajuku, which is like where all the fashion centre is, and that's where all the kids sort of go. And there's a famous street there called Takeshita Street, where we usually go as well for a visit. Then round to the west is Shinjinku. So this is actually Shibuya, and Shibuya is quite famous for its road crossing, and the road crossing in Shibuya is the busiest crossing in the world. It is like I don't know what you would call it in your various countries, but it's like we call them pelican crossings, or it's when you get a red light you don't cross, and when the little green man comes on you're able to cross. And there is multiple crossings on this one crossing at the road, so you can go diagonally across the road, or you can go straight over the road. So there's like loads of like different sort of like, you can see like the zebra crossing stripes there. So this video will just show you like people queuing up to wait, and then it will show when the lights change and the people go. So I'm just going to rewind it a little bit so you can see how many people are waiting to cross, and you'll be able to hear me hopefully on the video. If not, not to worry. So I'm just going to play this now. Oh, sorry, went past play. That's it. So this is Shibuya crossing, one of the biggest road crossings in the world. And when the green man goes, you'll see so many people. I'm under the tree right now, so you can't get to see the big screens, but I'll take a few shots of those shortly. There's some massive screens on the buildings. Now the road will clear again for the traffic. The line's gone red, and people will start queuing up again. Okay, yeah, so you get the idea. It is a mass of people there in Shibuya. Me and Mr. Trophy actually went to Shibuya on Halloween, and it was amazing. So we were there for Halloween, and the place is absolutely packed. They have to have police to police the road so that they can stop people to get the traffic through, and that it was heaving with people, and everyone was dressed up in Halloween gear, old and young. Uh, just simple stuff like people just putting makeup on their face to look scary, and then there was kind of like a lot of professional jobs there as well. There was people dressed up as anime characters as well, but mainly they were going for the zombie theme. On a previous trip, I had my photo taken with a couple of zombie girls, which their makeup was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. It looked like a film set. There were so many brilliant makeup jobs. It was really, really good. And a funny little story to end up on the way back to Tokyo Central on the train that we got on that night. That was Halloween on our previous trip. A young lad fell asleep on Mr. Trophy's shoulder. It was so funny. Oh dear. Must have had a few drinks maybe. Okay, so this is Shibuya if we come out from underneath the tree that I was standing under. This is a famous department store, 109. I've bought some clothes in there before. And just amazing massive screens, TV screens everywhere here, up on the buildings with adverts and all sorts on them, music videos. You can see IKEA's managed to get in here as well. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, this is a back street in Shibuya. No, actually, this is Harajuku. Sorry, this is Harajuku. This is Takeshita Dori, which is Takeshita Street, which is always packed like this. And Takeshita Dori is where you see all the fashions, everything. You can buy lots of clothes down here. They like pancakes and crepes and stuff, so you can get that sort of stuff down here, and ice cream. It's generally sort of like thought of as a kids hangout, but it isn't. It's everybody and anybody. And down here was where we found the Otter Cafe. So this is the Otter. So the Otters, you can go in for half an hour and you can sit with the otters, and they come sit on your lap, they go to sleep on your lap. You're allowed to feed them if they give you some food to feed the otters, and you can let them drink. They are lovely, and they have the most amazing place to play and swim and all that stuff. So, and then they come into the rooms in shifts, and you get to sit with them and stroke them and be close to them, because otters are kept as pets a lot of places around the world, and they are the most lovely creatures. They really are. They are very cute, but obviously you have to respect any animal that has teeth like that. So you can see they have little sharp teeth there. So you dress in protective clothing, just like a big skirt, wrap round skirt, and they give you like a pink jacket to put on. This is to stop the little otters getting their paws in your pockets and grabbing your jewellery and stuff. You usually take all your jewellery and earrings and stuff off before you go in there, so they don't get or pull on them. But I don't wear jewellery and earrings and stuff, so I'm okay. But Mr. Trophy had to take all his earrings out and his necklaces off and bracelets. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it was a lovely experience, and the otters were just so playful. They really loved playing with the toys and climbing on the people, as you'll see. I've got a few videos in here, so if a video comes on, we'll just let it play. Here we go. That's me giggling. Oh, because I find them so cute. And that is the little otter sat on my lap. And now he's jumped. There we go. A couple of little otters. I'll be saying things like, "Hello, baby," and stuff like that. I'm talking to them like I talk to my cats. My cat's just woken up and looked at me. Yeah, so lovely place to visit. That's Mr. Trophy again. Otter took a liking to his sitting on his head. You can see he's got his claw right there. That's Mr. Trophy's eye. So it was very soft and gentle. He didn't dig his claws in or anything. They're very friendly. And they're so bloody cute as well. Look at those little ears. Oh, look at those little ears. Oh, they're so squishy. I love them. And they're quite heavy as well. So they're quite thick, chunky little creatures. You know, when they jump on your lap, you definitely feel it. And when you stroke them, they're not very squidgy. They're quite solid muscle. So they feel quite firm. And they're very, very soft. Very soft. Okay, this is me playing with an otter. I couldn't quite stand up and get them to spin properly, but they really loved the spinning. The spinning around, you know, if you spin them around with the toys and that, they really loved that. They started squabbling over who was going to play with the toy because they wanted to be spun around. Ah, dear. So that was another little video there. I think we got some more videos. Here we go. Look at those little podgy bellies, look. I was just watching my hand there when I was giving them a little tickle. Just because when they're playing, they really like to give a good bite on the toys, so you don't want to get your fingers mixed up with them biting the toy. So lovely. This was the lady that was sat next to Mr. Trophy, and she had 3 of them on her lap, fast asleep. So after playing and eating, they generally like to sit down and fall asleep for a little bit, and it was so cute, so cute. They were so lovely and friendly. This was one that fell asleep on my lap. Oh, and they were so soft, so very soft and very cute. Oh, look at that. And I sent a few pictures to a streamer friend of mine called Long Live Ireland. He's known as the Otter King, and he loves otters, and he plays Ark, and he always tames loads of otters. And if you haven't checked him out, then check him out. Long Live Ireland. He's a full energy streamer and loves otters, so that's why I sent some pictures to him to show him where he can get some otter cuddles. That's what it looks like when an otter sits on your lap. So this otter was sat on my lap, and he was looking up, going to this lady here, "Give me some food, mama." And it was like a little meerkat sat on my lap. It looks like a little furry tree stump, doesn't he? Very cute. Very cute. That is me, and this is an otter on my head. So yeah, you can see all his whiskers there. It's a bit blurry, but I didn't have much time to actually take the photo. So yeah, so as you can see, that's Mr. Trophy, and he has an otter lying on its back, and he is tickling his tummy, and he is very cute. Yeah. So this was probably one of my favourite parts of the trip, actually, because I absolutely love otters, although it's not particularly something related to Japan in a way. It was lovely to get up close to the otters. You often see them in a zoo or that, but to see them interacting with people and playing with people, they are domestic, kept as domestic pets, these otters, so they are not from the wild, and they obviously enjoy being part of the Otter Cafe. So it was a super experience, and I really, really loved it. And that was in Harajuku on Takeshita Dori, the Otter Cafe. It wasn't expensive, it was very reasonable for a 25-minute sit with the otters. And obviously you get to feed them, you get to play, and then they get to come and have a sit on your lap and sleep. It was really good. So this is Takeshita Dori again. You can see there's lots of like souvenir shops, and it is completely packed down here. You actually can, as we did, get stuck, gridlock, where you just can't go in any direction, and it is just crazy. You just have to wait for something to give, something to move. Okay, so this is Shinjinku. So we moved around to Shinjinku, and this is full-size Godzilla. Well, maybe not full-size, because Godzilla's quite a bit bigger than that, but he is peeking over the top of the building. And I've been to Shinjinku. This was my third visit to Shinjinku, and I never knew about Godzilla peeking over the top of the building. So I thought, I've got to go and see this time. So that's why we went there, and we got to see Godzilla and take some pictures. And you can see typical Japanese city streets, very colourful. That's another example of how colourful the buildings are. They tend to put up this. I think this is a big kind of sticker rather than a painting. I don't know. It might be painted to look like a sticker. But this was in Shinjinku. As you can see, Burberry shop. They have a lot of high-end sort of designer shops in Shinjinku as well. Okay, this is Shinjinku, and there's Godzilla again. You can see him sneaking over the top of the building. Japanese people obviously idolise Godzilla, or Gojira as they call him. This photo was just basically to show you another big sort of crossing, how colourful the streets are, and just a little bit of wackiness with Godzilla there. That's the sort of thing the Japanese do. And we're back in Tokyo Central now, looking up at some of the tall buildings through the cherry blossoms. So they do have cherry blossoms lining a lot of the streets in Tokyo. It's not just a giant concrete jungle. Well, it is. It is. When you've seen it from the when you've seen it from the top of the. Sorry about the pop-ins there, guys. It's just my mailbox. When you've seen it from the top of the sky tree, then you see how vast the city is. Now, I live on an island called the Isle of Wight in the south of the UK, and my island is 24 miles long, and that's from east to west, and from north to south it is 18 miles. Okay, now the whole of Tokyo will fit 11 Isle of Wights in that area. That's just to indicate how big Tokyo is. Now, this is Ueno Park again. So this is us, we're back at Ueno Park. And this is Tokyo's Sky Tree. Now, this is a huge tower in Tokyo. So they have two huge towers. They've got Tokyo Tower, but this one is much bigger. This is Tokyo's Sky Tree, and it just looks unreal from Ueno Park. You can see how far away it is by the haze, which just indicates how huge it is. Now, on this trip, we didn't go to the Sky Tree or Tokyo Tower because we've been to both of them before. We've been to Tokyo Tower twice. It's just Tokyo Tower's a bit like the Eiffel Tower in design. It's I think it's a little bit. I'm not sure actually which one. I'm going to have to look that up. I'm not sure which tower is bigger, Tokyo Tower or the Eiffel Tower. I always thought it was the Eiffel Tower, but I'm not sure. But the Sky Tree is huge, and when you can go to this area here and look out over Tokyo, or you pay a little bit more and you can go to this viewing deck here, and the views are amazing from there. So I might be able to find a picture to show you at a later date, a few pictures to show you of our previous trips, just to show you what I mean by some of the talking points today. Okay, so we're back at Ueno Park, and I think we're in the zoo. So this is the pagoda again, 5-story pagoda, but from the other side. So this is from the zoo side. So this actually sits within the zoo, and of course, Ueno Zoo is famous for its the giant pandas there. So they have a panda breeding program there, and in I think it was 2021 they had panda cub twins, which is quite unusual, but they managed to breed. I think it was this pair that had the cubs. We queued for an hour or so to actually see the pandas, and this is what you get to see: a couple of sleeping teddy bears. So they're very cute, but they're very rarely awake, and you generally get to see them when they're just snoozing. I think I've got another picture on here. I'm not sure, but yeah. So we queued for about an hour or so to see these pandas. They're very, very like teddy bears. That's all right, Wolfie. Thanks for popping in and joining. You can always watch the rest of the stream later. That's fine, or pop back in later. I'm sure I'll be yabbering on about photographs for a little bit yet. So yeah, so So those of you that don't know much about pandas, I'll just let you know a little bit about pandas. So pandas are really endangered, giant pandas. They generally eat bamboo. So to get enough nutrients, they have to eat most of the time when they're not snoozing, of course. So the whole of their day usually is taken up by either eating or snoozing. And when they breed and they give birth, the actual cub is tiny. It is so tiny. I'm just going to look up on my phone how big a panda cub is. Let me just won't be a minute, guys, and I'll just tell you how small. Right. How big is a panda cub when born? Okay. So, at birth, a giant panda cub is helpless and it takes considerable effort on the mother's part to raise it. A newborn cub weighs 3 to 5 ounces. That is incredible. It is the size of a stick of butter. It is pink, hairless and blind, and the cub is 1/900th the size of the mother. So that is incredible. That is absolutely incredible that they are that tiny. 3 to 5 ounces in weight. No wonder they're going extinct, guys. That is such a burden to raise, isn't it, for a mother panda? It's must be very difficult, and I would imagine in the wild. Are there any pandas in the wild now? I'm not sure. That the mortality rate would be quite high, and that's why the populations have gone down so much. So here's another little picture of the pandas snoozing. This one has got a green mark on it. I'm not sure why, but there we go. So they usher you into this area and you get about 2 minutes to take pictures before you're thrown out again. They had some extremely pink flamingos in the zoo. So that was rather nice to see. Meerkats there, lazy little devils, look at them. Little meerkats. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, back out of the zoo now, back to the food area. And again here you can just see some of the different fashions that they have that. Okay, so this is our trip to food and tat shops. Hello, Mr. Trophy. You just missed Wolfie. Wolfie was with us. Our angry Aussie friend. We love Wolfie though. So this was our trip to Nagano. So, some of you are too young to remember, but Nagano held the Winter Olympics in 1998. It's usually very snowy, but at this time of year, or the time we were there, the snow was all melted because it was a lovely heat wave. And this is Nagano has quite a famous temple, and this is the entrance gate to the temple. Entrance gates are usually my favourite part of temples. So I just love the entrance gate, how it looks, and you always get the two guardians on either side, and you'll be able to see them in another photo in a moment. So you enter into the temple area through the gate, and then usually the temple is straightforward behind that. So Nagano was quite busy as well, as you can see. There's quite a lot of people there. It was very beautiful, and we actually get to see some hills and mountains, because most of our trips to Japan have been on the Kanto Plains, where you don't see mountains and hills. So let's move on to the next picture. Yep, so you can see through here, this is the temple building here, and this is the guardians. So the guardians are supposed to be quite scary looking to keep evil spirits away. Can see a lot of Rojin, or elderly people here, and whenever we go to Southeast Asia or Japan, we call old gentlemen, we call them uncle, and old ladies we call auntie. So you can always thank them by calling them uncle or auntie. More so in sort of places like Thailand and Malaysia, that sort of place, they generally go by uncle and auntie a bit more. Just a pretty picture of sort of authentic olden day Japanese housing, probably Edo period, I would say. Edo is the old name for Tokyo, so it used to be called Edo, and I think that was back in the shogunate era. Now we can see the guardians on the gatehouse. So you can see they're made with quite big scary eyes and scary faces, scary appearance, strong looking, very scary. When going into any temple, whether it be a Shinto or Buddhist temple, it's always important. Usually there's a bar of wood along the floor as you go through the gate, and as you go through the entrance of the temple, it's important not to tread on that, so you step over it. It's the threshold, so it's not good etiquette to step onto the wooden bar. But they didn't have any here because it was just a road, pathway that went through, so that was all okay. So that's looking back down the other way, from the gate back down to through the old-fashioned sort of buildings here, back down to the actual town. You can see these lovely black firs. I think they're black firs. Very Japanese looking tree. They usually have these as bonsai as well. That's one of the guardians again. You can always place money in these wooden boxes. to pray. You can see a lot of the black furs around, and not sure what these signify, to be honest with you. Tend to see a lot of statues like that, and small statues of children as well, with the red hat and bib on. I need to look into my Japanese sort of history and culture a little bit more for that. There's another there. And this is another gateway through to the temple, I think. I think there was a couple of gateways, that's what... Yes, that's right. So this wasn't the temple building, that was the second gateway, I think. Yes. You might catch in some of these photos people, I can't see any in this photo, but people in traditional dress, so people in traditional Edo period dress. They still dress up in kimonos, and oh, you're getting a psh sound on my mic. Okay, I'll move it away from my mouth just a little bit. Thanks for pointing that out. Sometimes like you guys to be really close, but today we'll move you away. Okay, yeah, so we'll go on and see what we can see. So we've got lantern here in the edge. Okay, so this is the actual temple here. So you can see they have some sort of like shop outlets here to make money, and you can buy your little wooden prayers and wishes, or paper ones and lanterns and all sorts. So this is the incense burner, so people who would come in, and they would go to the incense, they'd put incense in, they would waft the incense over their body, and then they would go on into the temple. I think it's some sort of purification ritual before entering. There is also on this side here places where you can wash your hands. Okay, so we're up on the actual temple now, and you can see how it's built. This one looks like it's all wooden built. Really enjoyed walking around this temple. It was beautiful. This is the incense from the temple. So now we are standing on the temple and looking back. You can see some lanterns here. This is the second gatehouse, and there were various other buildings over the back here. See what we've got next. Some blossom trees. That was a particularly nice one on the temple grounds, and they had a pagoda building as well. Probably another Buddha tooth in the top. Yeah, that's the temple from another angle, which would be from around the back end. And this is still in Nagano, but down in the town we found this little stone and funny sort of face of a bull, I think it is. Not really sure what it signifies, but the information plaque was all in Japanese, and I can't read Japanese, I'm afraid. Okay, so Nagano, our day at Nagano was really good, and it's quite far away from Tokyo, so we got the Shinkansen. So we got on the bullet train to. Sorry, guys, just gonna. Check that, that's fine. We got on the bullet train from Tokyo Central up to Nagano, and I think it took about an hour and a half. The train got up to about 168 miles an hour, so it was pretty speedy, which was good. And when you go on the Shinkansen, it feels like you're sitting on an aeroplane, to be fair. It feels that fast and that smooth. It's not bumpy at all. It was great. So after doing that for that day, we decided the next day that we were going to do the same. We were going to get on the Shinkansen, but this time we were going to go to the end of the line, which was Kanazawa. And Kanazawa is on the north coast of Japan, and I think it was a couple of hours on the bullet train, and yeah, again got up to about 168 miles an hour, and yeah, it took a couple of hours. So Kanazawa is known for one particular garden and a castle, so an Edo period castle that has been rebuilt to the style that it would have been in that period, and this is part of the castle grounds. And me and Mr. Trophy, we sat there in this place, castle grounds, and we had our picnic. So we'd been to our favourite restaurant, convenience store, and we bought a sandwich and a pancake or something to eat and a drink. And actually, as I was eating, a massive eagle came down and nearly pinched my sandwich, and it was scary. So we got to look around the grounds of the castle, and then we got to look around the park as well. So as you can see, the blossoms were very nice here as well, the cherry blossoms, and yeah, so everyone was sat down having their sandwiches and picnics and things here. It was a lovely open space. Yeah, it was quite amazing. So let's have a look, see what else we've got on this one. And this is the rebuild of the castle. So you can see it's kind of another sort of authentic Edo period castle, and it was very beautiful. And I was trying to remember the name of the castle, but I can't remember it now. I'd have to look it up. And this was the moat, and lovely little bridge that goes over into there. There you can see this is the moat, so now I'm standing on the bridge, or taking the photo there, or I think this is one of Mr. Trophy's photos. This is just the light reflection of and the colours of the strips, metal strips that they've put over the wood there. It's really lovely. So the gardens, I've just looked up there. The garden we went to after the castle, which is attached to the castle, sort of, is called Kenrokuen Garden, and it was started in the 17th century. So we'll get to look at some pictures of that in a minute. But these are pictures of the reinterpretation of how the castle would have looked in the time of the shogun. Some of the walls are still there. The blossom was particularly lovely in Kanazawa as well. You can see a few pictures, and you can see the weather is superb as well. We took these pictures along here just because there's these lovely old wooden buildings along here. Some of them were eateries, some of them were little shop outlets and stuff. It was very beautiful. And you can see the ice cream there is green. That's because in Japan they have green tea ice cream, and oh my goodness me, it is delicious. There were quite a lot of holiday makers, or gaijin as they're known in Japan, which means foreign person. We noticed this time when we visited. Let's go to the next one. So I took this picture, guys, and I don't even remember this uncle there. I don't even remember him being in that picture. That's really bizarre. But it was quite funny when I look back at the pictures and noticed the old Rojin there. Oh, this was quite interesting, this fountain. So we're in the gardens now, and this fountain is the oldest fountain in Japan. So that's what they're claiming. And it's just very plain. It's just a very plain fountain. Sorry guys, just catching up with chat and stuff whilst we look at the fountain. Ah, okay, so Mr. Trophy's put in there that it was actually called Kanazawa Castle, surprisingly. Not always they have the name of the town, Mr. Trophy. Okay, so you can see this is a very well tended garden, very beautiful. Um, very unlike Ueno Park, which is much more for sort of like meeting people, picnicking, and stuff like that. This one is a sort of like don't walk on the grass situation. So, but like stones and everything are usually placed particularly well. Oh, there's some lovely ladies here in their kimonos, posing for pictures for holidaymakers and for, I don't know, their friends and family, I would imagine. We managed to snap a picture of these lovely ladies on the bridge. Okay, you get to see some more of this garden here with some of the water features, and they love like these little bridges, stepping stone bridges, and that sort of thing in Japan as well. Okay. Ponds and islands. So this little island here, you'd think, oh, it was just an island, but each one of these little stones that you'll see has been placed in a particular place as they wanted it to look the best, to have some meaning. Some Zen gardens have like stones placed in particular place for contemplation, so you can sit and look at stones and contemplate and relax. Me and Mr. Trophy actually went to Ryoanji, which is a Zen garden in Kyoto, and that was on that was on our first visit to Japan. So yeah, and we went to a rather famous garden there, Ryoanji, and there's a number of stones set out, and no matter where you sit, you can never count all the stones. It's quite a thing to see, really. This photo is very nice. I think it might be one of my photos, I'm not sure. But the reflection in the water was quite lovely. And you can see the people sitting here are in traditional dress. Yes, we contemplated, definitely. And you can see their reflection there. Just a very pretty picture. Okay, so I think this couple here, they are in traditional dress, and I think this is the couple that was sat in that picture just before. So lady here has a kimono on, and the gents in his, Mr. Trophy knows what they're called, gents clothing. I can't remember. So maybe he'd help us out if he's still there listening. Clothing. So I just took that picture for an example that people still at festive times, like cherry blossom season, other festivals through the year, they still dress in their traditional clothing, which is really nice to see. There is a festival as well in the autumn, which is, I think it's 357, or is it 579? I'm not sure, but it's children aged, I think it's 3, 5 and 7. So children of those age, they will be dressed in, it's a festival of children of those age, and the children dress up in their kimonos and everything. and the little children, they look absolutely adorable in their little kimonos, or their little, if they're little boys, the little men's robes. And it's, the people are always happy for you to take photographs, but it's always polite to ask. Of course, with any taking photographs of any child nowadays, you know, it's a definitely ask the question before you take a photo. But we have some photos of a couple of little children, and their parents were happy for us to have little photos with them, with the whole family in traditional dress, and it was really beautiful. That was when we visited in the autumn. Now here we go. So this is Akihabara, or known as Electric Town, or this is where you go to get all your electrics, cables, white goods, anything electrical, games, anime, everything is here. Toys, models. It's super fun. So this used to be the Sega building, but now it's called Jigo, and it is right opposite Akihabara station. So this is a really fun day we had. Quite tiring though, I must say, quite tiring. Shopping is always tiring. So guys, today is Akihabara Day, and we've come down to Akihabara, and look, this must be my shop, because they're called Game Panic. And that's what I do when I get panic fingers. It's very busy down here, so we're going to go investigate some of the stores. Lots of electricals, lots of games, lots of other stuff. And I will take some photos and talk to you about them in the stream. Okay, so yep, we went shopping and we shopped, and this is first off, what we saw on the street in Akihabara is plastic food. So the Japanese are really well known for plastic food. So what they'll do is they'll take their menu and their dishes like these, and then they will fabricate them out of plastic. So all of these dishes are made from plastic. So they look quite good actually, don't they? And then you'll see the prices underneath them. So let's look at that one. That looks like some sort of curry, and it is 500 yen. So 500 yen is about £4, I think. So I think 5,000 yen. Hold on, 5,000 yen is £40. So yeah, 500 yen would be £4-ish. £4 or £5 for a curry. It's not bad. So food's pretty reasonable. I think my translation is roughly right. So you can see Mr. Trophy and me there in the reflection. This is a shop front, and it is a massive screen. So I thought I'd take a little video. So that's the sort of shops that you see down in Akihabara, and a lot of model shops. So a lot of these yes. Okay, so we have here some Marvel models, so these are more American sort of ones, and we have Buzz Lightyear, Mandalorian sort of ones. Don't know what these two are at the back there. So this is like what a lot of the shops are like. They have these models, and They have these cute bobbly ones as well. This one here, I was watching Crazy Japanese TV, and that's what we call it, Crazy Japanese TV, and I actually bumped into this anime and watched it, but of course it was in Japanese, so I couldn't understand a lot of it. Okay, One Piece, so most people know One Piece, the anime. Models. Okay. So dolly shops, yeah, Mr. Trophy. Mr. Trophy's got a collection of Final Fantasy VII dollies. We did have a look for some when we were there. So, like, amusement arcades, game thing. So, these are like goodie grabbers, but it's with food. So, it's very unusual. You'll see these food items and then you put your money in and have a go at catching some. So normally you see toys and stuff in here, but I just took a picture of this because I thought it was unusual to see like custard cake. So it looks like a sponge cake with a custard filling. Looks very tasty actually, but I'd just go and buy it. I wouldn't waste my time trying to catch it. And here again we've got different foods in the goodie grabbers. More model shops, so you can see there's some Squid Game ones. So most people know Squid Games from Netflix. They're selling the old little models here. That looks like Sailor Moon or something there. Can't recognise anyone else apart from Hello Kitty. Pac-Man. So yeah, so store after store of models. This was quite funny because this is what Mr. Trophy thinks I look like. And every shop we went into, he would say, "Oh look, there you are," and he'd point at this little tubby thing lady. So I kind of embraced that and thought, maybe I'm a little bit chunky, but maybe not that chubby. Okay, if you like cars, dinky cars, yeah, shop full of them. Absolutely all of types of Matchbox cars. That's me, guys, if you didn't guess. And this is like a Nessie. I didn't buy this Nessie, but I wish I had now, because like this is like Nessie from Neeb's Gaming. You want some sweet tea? And that particular day I had my thick 44 shirt on as well. Rest his soul. God rest his soul. Yeah, so I was thick 44 warrior that day, and I found Nessie. Yeah, it was good fun. I wish I bought Nessie now. Oh, yeah, and we looked around the game shops. Coming soon. What date is it? 20, whatever it was. 22nd of something. 2023. Oh, I've got another photo with the date on it. Final Fantasy 16, guys. Final Fantasy 16. It's looking good. Yeah, so I got bored with Final Fantasy 15, so I hope this one's a little bit better. Final Fantasy 7, the remake, is a lot better than Final Fantasy 15. So, looking forward to that, guys. Looking at all the games come in. Ah, yeah, so any of you anime fans out there might recognise this big red bike in the middle. It is Canada's bike from Akira. And, yeah. Spotted that, thought I'll have a picture of that, and you can see the price of that is 58,800 yen. Now you can just sort of think of the value of that by thinking about that curry that we saw for 500 yen. Yeah, so now you can sort of think 116 times those curries. Yeah, nice. 117 times those curries. We could buy one of those. So yeah, we had a lot of fun in the shops, and of course we had to go to the Toto washlet area. Mr. Trophy stroking his favourite there, Toto washlet toilet, and yes, he would love one. I would as well. I miss that toilet. Toilets in Japan are the best. And we don't often talk about toilets and that, but when you get a heated seat, courtesy music, wash and blow dry, incredible. Incredible. I can't see why we don't do them in our country here in the UK. We can buy them, import them and do that. Mr. Trophy really wants to do that, but the connections are a little bit more difficult, but he could work his way around that, I'm sure. We'll have to see. If ever we get a Toto washlet toilet or similar, I will put it on stream. Not anything X-rated, you understand. It will just be, look at this toilet. It is amazing. Oh. Okay, and yes, they do have Mario Karts in Tokyo, so you can get yourself a car and play Mario Kart around the streets. And just lucky enough to capture the guys on the Mario Kart run. So yeah, you can probably look these guys up on YouTube and watch them, see what they get up to. Yeah. And there's my game shop there from the other side of the road. Game panic. That's what happens when I panic. I get game panic. Okay, so bus trip time now. We're brave enough to get the bus in Japan as well. We had to pay for this bus though, and it wasn't too bad a price. I can't remember exactly how much it was. It was about £40 for both of us one way, so £80 for the complete trip there and back for both of us. But you can just see how clean and pristine the bus is. Everything in Japan is pristine and clean. Even when you're waiting for the Shinkansen, they clean it before they let you get on. So at each end, each terminal, it gets cleaned, and the seats are reversible, so you're always going forward, so they can turn the seats as well. It's quite incredible. But the bus was lovely, clean. You get all these like clean cloths over the backs of the seats, seat belts, everything. There's a toilet on board and it's air conditioning. It is lovely. We decided to get the bus down to Mount Fuji, so somewhere we've always wanted to go that we hadn't seen. We'd seen Mount Fuji before on the Shinkansen to Kyoto. From Tokyo to Kyoto you can see from quite a distance Mount Fuji, which was nice, and also we saw Mount Fuji when we landed this time, and it was poking through the top of the clouds. It was very, very weird, very strange. I'm not sure I've got that picture on here, but even so, it was very strange. So we're getting the bus from Tokyo to Mount Fuji area, which I think was about a couple of hours. So the Fuji Five Lakes, so you can see it's into the mountains as well. This was one of the lakes, and there's a big bridge there you can see, and these are sort of like tourist boats that go out and take tourists around this lake for photo shots and for information on history and the area in general. This one is a tourist boat as well, but this is a speedboat, so it goes really fast, and usually it just takes two people at a time. Yeah. So that's me, guys. That's little chubby me, worn out, walking up this slope. So you can see how this slope really is as steep as it looks, and I struggled because I'm a chunk. So yeah, that's where we just walked up there, and we just come round here and up this path as well. You can see the beautiful blossoms, and this is the little bit more like the countryside, sort of Japan, that we haven't really witnessed much ourselves. We're usually in the cities, but this was very lovely, and lovely road tunnel going under the hill, and yeah, some Fuji pictures from the viewpoint. Took a while to get up here. These pictures I think are a little bit mixed up. So this is Mount Fuji from the viewpoint, and you can see at this time of year it's still got the snow on the top. So when we came into land, the clouds were down here, and the clear sky above was just the snow cone of the volcano. So if you think of a volcano, you think of when you're a child, you draw a volcano. Basically that's what Mount Fuji is. It's still an active volcano, but it's doesn't erupt very often. I think it's sort of like 300 years ago since they had a serious eruption there, something around there. So it's a typical cone volcano, and it does erupt in different ways. So it can do like a Hawaiian eruption with lots of soft, loose, runny lava. So like when you see the eruptions in Hawaii, the volcanoes there, that's kind of what this would erupt like. Also, it can do a big rock and cloud eruption, like pyroclastic flows, and a bit like Mount St. Helens in America when that went up in the early 80s, like big part of the mountain blew apart but went up into the sky, and little rocks were falling and that sort of thing. So Mount Fuji could do an eruption like that as well. So it varies on what can happen. So down here in this part where my cursor is another amusement park, like roller coasters and stuff like that. It's a bit out in the middle of nowhere, which is a bit strange, but we didn't venture there because we had about 4 hours to walk around and enjoy the views and sights before the return trip on the coach. Okay, so Mr. Trophy, thank you, has put up the last eruption was December the 18th, 1707. So yeah, probably about 300 years ago, wasn't that far off. Yeah. So of course a volcano like this could probably erupt from one of the fumaroles that from the side of the volcano as well. If there are lava channels, that is a possibility as well. So although we think of this as pretty dormant, pretty quiet volcano, there is the risk of an eruption. And if you remember, you should remember the large earthquakes in 2011 in Japan with the tsunami and the Fukushima disaster. They actually thought that Mount Fuji could erupt then, and they were watching it for quite a few months after that, but luckily no eruption from the volcano. Okay, it's me, guys. Little snail pack on the back there, taking me old pickies, and yeah, just we probably got quite a few pickies now of Mount Fuji because it's such an amazing sight, and it is like I think it was about 3,700 meters high. So to put that in perspective, Mount Snowdon in Wales, UK, is the second highest mountain in the UK, and that is I think it's 1,085 meters. So that's probably, Fuji is about 3 times the height of that. And like the tallest mountain in the world, Mount Everest, I think is 8,000 something. It's definitely over 8,000 meters high. So it's probably 8,700, something like that, Mount Everest. So you could probably fit 2.5 Fujis in Mount Everest. But this looks amazing because of the low-lying land and the whole mountain from bottom to top is visible. So it looks incredible, guys. When you're actually there, it doesn't do it, photos don't do it justice. It's I'm not wearing my glasses. No, you're really right there, Mr. Trophy, but I have got them here, so I could put my glasses on now. December 16th. Sorry, did I say 18th? Yeah, 1707. Anyway, right. So you can see this town down here as well. So it's a little bit closer view. A few blossoms as well, thrown in for good measure. So now would not be a good time to climb Mount Fuji because of the snow. A lot of people do climb it though, more seasoned mountaineers. In the summer months it is a reasonably easy climb from Station 5, which is up here somewhere. So there is a road that goes up part of the mountain to Station 5, then you climb the rest of the way up. But to me that sort of feels like not climbing a mountain. So to me, you climb a mountain from the base to the top. That's the achievement. So it's a bit weird, really. So I suppose some people just come to climb the snow cap and that, but hey, there you go. In the summertime, all of this snow disappears, and this area is like tundra. It's tundra land, and then lower down we get the trees and the forests. So yeah, there's probably a lot of nice wildlife around on these in these forests. Okay, little video. Okay, just a little video there. Me, hot and sweaty, That's what I say. I'm hot and sweaty. I'm not hot and sweaty. I'm hot and sweaty. Yeah, because I've just climbed up a massive hill, and this hill went on and on and on forever. And me being a little chunk at the moment, found it quite difficult and quite hot and sweaty. So I get to the top and I'm worn out. But I was just so amazed by the view and of the mountain that I decided to do a little video just as I got to the top. If you notice in the video, you can see a lot of what looks like debris falling, and that is like the blossom. It was quite windy and all the blossoms on the tree are falling now, so you'll see a lot of like blossom falling like snow. Let's move on. There's chunky old me, look. Yep. Mount Fuji is out of focus a bit, but I'm in focus there. Okay, and this is a memorial. Not sure what that's all about, but I'm sure I could find out. Let you know on a future stream. But I quite like this picture because it's you've got the mountain, the memorial, the blossom trees. You can see it's quite hot here at the moment. Even in this area, everything's quite parched, so it's been warm. There's a few of the same sort of photos using different cameras, different details. That is selfie with me and Mr. Trophy, and Mr. Trophy's just pointing out how chunky my double chin is. And his glasses seems to have slipped off his nose. Yeah, we're a pair of crazy fools. Altitude sickness has reached me. Yes. We need to get down as soon as possible. Yeah, Mr. Trophy looks like he's starting to suffer as well. That's enough of silliness. Now, this is the photograph I was talking about at the beginning of the stream, because you remember we went to Ueno Park to see the cherry blossoms, and we looked down the main road, or the main pathway that cuts through the middle of Ueno Park on various branches, and Mr. Trophy's just pointed out we definitely had oxygen starvation at the top of that hill. Yeah, I think so, definitely. But now you can see the blossoms have almost all gone. So you can see a few up here and a few sort of on the tips of the trees, but the leaves are coming out now and the blossoms are gone. It's much less busy in the park now, and but they're still holding the festival for another week, so a week from this day we went, and the bins and everything, the food stalls will stay out for much longer than we were there. But just to show you how brief the cherry blossom season is, you know, it can be there a week later it's almost completely gone. Okay, so we've got a few oddments and miscellaneous photographs now. So this is a picture of on the plane, and this was our flight route on the way back from Tokyo. On the way to Tokyo, we flew from London to Helsinki, Finland, and then we headed south. So south down here, avoiding Russia completely and avoiding the Ukraine. We went over there, over Turkey and over Baku, Azerbaijan, I can't say that. And then over like Mongolia and that into and then to Tokyo. Kind of thinking that we possibly flew over part of China. I'm not sure. Can't remember much about the last part of the flight. On the way back, we took the northern route, which goes north right up over the Bering Sea. So we go right close to Alaska, North America, and this far point in Russia. And then we fly over the North Pole and down into Helsinki. Now this flight took us over the North Pole, and at the end of the flight they gave us all a little certificate to say that we'd actually flown over the North Pole, which was nice. It was quite a funny thing to be given. Okay, this is when we get home. So yeah, the bag's unpacked, and you can see the two cats. Yeah, they say, "You're not going again, we're going to make sure you take us." So yeah, you can see this is Carrot, my ginger ninja, and this is Vimes, my snuggle buddy, and if you haven't seen my cats before, this is them, and they were most happy to see me, and Mr. Trophy, of course, but I'm their favourite. I'm definitely their favourite. I'm not really, guys. I'm not really their favourite. In Japan, they have very dinky little vehicles, and this is just an example of a little van. And you can see how tiny and cuboid it almost looks like it belongs in Minecraft. Yeah, just a little photo of little car, little vehicle. Now this is the Pokemon store, and you can see it's mainly Pikachu in the Pokemon store, but this store is underneath Tokyo Central Station. Now I think there's about 4 floors that go down under the station, various things. This is the first floor, so this is like, you'll get a lot of shops down here. There's a lot of food shops and a lot of novelty shops, Pokemon and the Tokyo TV shops with their mascots. Now we do go down here, but it's like a maze, guys. It is really like a maze. One day you can find a shop, and the next day you can go and look for it, and you there's no chance. We need a map for this area, but it's so huge. This is part of the underground area as well. This is a wall outside a shop, just to show you how colourful everything is, really. The Japanese, they love plush toys as well, and I do as well. I have plush toys in the back of my car, mainly Japanese plush toys. This is some of the food that we saw. So these are like bento boxes, or food that you buy already conveniently made, and it looks totally delicious. Yeah, just making my mouth water already. You can see this lovely platter of food is just 899 yen, so 900 yen. So it's probably about £7 or £8, something around there. Delicious. Just getting lost underneath Tokyo Station with all the shopping. Just don't know which way to go. There's so many ways. Yeah, just a little video to show you, like, it's like a little maze. So it's like a crisscross of little walkways, loads of shops. Yeah, crazy. I even found some socks, cat socks, right? These are cat socks, and they have tails. So you put your socks on, and at the back of your leg you get a little cat tail that sticks out. And you can have like a tabby cat, white or ginger. So I could have had a ginger ninja and a snuggle buddy pair of socks. almost bought them, guys, almost. But no, didn't buy them. Oh, and this is part of the best of the best. This is sushi, and this was bought from a convenience store, and it is super fresh and super yummy. So for those of you that think you know what sushi is, you might not. A lot of people think that sushi is raw fish, and sushi is not raw fish. Sushi is rice. This is sushi, the rice. So sushi is rice, and it's usually made with fillings that can be vegetables, it can be cooked food, it can be raw fish and raw meat. So generally these are like maki with multiple fillings, and this is cucumber and tuna mayo, and this one is like a California roll a little bit. It's got fish stick or seafood stick. I think this is tamago or egg, and cucumber. Sometimes you'll get avocado in these ones as well. So super fresh, super yummy, wrapped in nori. So nori is like a seaweed sheet. It's actually algae. It's a dried algae. So it's not an actual, it's sort of like a seaweed, but it's not a seaweed. It's an algae sheet. Super yummy. Love it. And you can just see how fresh this is. It is, I mean, the stuff we get in our stores isn't a patch on this. You can see how lovely and fluffy the rice is. It's not dodgy and pressed too hard. Oh, yeah. So the sushi is, thank you, Mr. Trophy, is a flavoured rice. So it is normally flavoured with rice vinegar, salt, and sugar, and that is sushi part. So it's not. Yeah. So I can make sushi, and Mr. Trophy can make sushi as well, but our attempts don't come out as nice and lovely looking at this. In actual fact, I should have taken a picture of the sushi I made. That would have been good for a giggle. It was kind of like a sushi splat, but it tasted delicious. So yeah, so the sushi part is the rice, the flavoured rice, and then you put the fillings and everything in. So there's lots of different types of sushi. There's like the maki rolls, which are like these, and you can get the maki rolls. I can't remember what they're called, with multiple fillings, and then you can make them with just one filling, like just say cucumber or pepper, or you can have just a fish stick in there, fish stick, or what we call seafood sticks or crab sticks. You can have raw fish, anything you like. You can make anything. You can actually get sweet sushis as well, with like chocolate fillings and that, which I've never tried, but you know, you can buy or make afters, sushi for afters. Okay. Oh yeah. And this is me eating some Japanese food. Well, this is Japanese McDonald's actually. So guys, I don't know whether I've told you before, but I don't eat McDonald's. I never have McDonald's unless I'm on holiday. So I go to McDonald's around the world, and believe me, McDonald's are very different around the world. Like in Japan, you get regular fries. That's regular fries in Japan. That's not large fries. So they give you like what we would call large fries, and you get your burger and a regular drink. So I always have chicken burger because I don't eat beef because I don't like it, and I don't like lamb. It's a tradition of mine and Mr. Trophy, as he says in chat there, that we go to McDonald's usually if we can when we're away on holiday, and I think or KFC. We've had KFC in Japan and that wasn't very nice. It was very greasy. I can't remember what I had here. Mr. Trophy saying I had a teriyaki burger, but I think it was a spicy burger. But that's probably a similar sort of thing. But it had just spicy sauce in it. It was just a normal burger with spicy sauce, but it was really nice. And I was really tired on this day, and I was really happy to have chips because I don't eat them a lot. So my treat, McDonald's in Tokyo Central Station, was delicious. I think the strangest McDonald's I had was in Borneo, and we had like a chicken burger there, and it was like covered in this spicy, peppery gravy. I think it didn't have anything in there apart from the burger, the bun, and this spicy gravy that was a bit like peppercorns tasting. It was very sort of like peppery, and yeah, that was really weird. It was like the sauce was like a gravy, and it sort of like had absorbed into the bun, and I really didn't like it that much. But McDonald's fries, oh, they are the best. I don't care what anyone says, McDonald's fries are the best. KFC fries are the worst. Burger King's in between. Okay, that's enough. Okay, guys, this amazing shop was in Nagano, and it had all this delicious sushi bento boxes, or just sushi platters, as I call them, and sashimi. So sashimi is the raw fish, so that is sliced raw fish on here, and this is like sushi and sashimi on this one, and these ones are just looks like there's some sort of tempura prawns in this one, and sushi, and these ones up here are just sushi on their own. Delicious. I could stand and look at these for hours. I don't know whether I can actually zoom in on them, I'm not sure. Yes, I can, so you can get a little bit of a better look at the raw fish and raw meat in there, wagyu beef and stuff like that, and these lovely sushi up here was sort of mixed or just raw fish in these ones, and you had the vegetable ones down that end and different sorts. Oh, it was so delicious. Look at that, guys. I wish our supermarkets had a section like that. Oh, it's so delicious. Look at this. Oh, see if we can zoom in up there a little bit. Oh yeah, super nice food. Yeah, oh god, yeah, I know, looking at it. Going from food to toilet. So this is the Toto washlet toilet, and it doesn't have a heated seat, which is a little bit disappointing, but it has lady sprays and gentleman sprays, nice warm water. Okay, back to food again. This is Mr. Trophy enjoying some street food down at Ueno. that was what weird stuff he bought, and I don't quite know what it was, but it was like a dumplingy type thing with all sorts of ingredients mixed in it, and then they put like tuna flakes, kombu flakes. Yes, I know. So you get like the kombu flakes on the top. Oh, so he said it was so delicious, and really I could eat it right now, but back then I just couldn't stomach to eat anything. This was like a rice wrapped in bacon, which Mr. Trophy's devouring there. Okay, back to the hotel. Oh yeah, bum washer. No, we're getting past bum washer. So back to the hotel. This is the tiny bathroom. So this mirror is heated so it doesn't steam up, which is nice. And you've got your shower and sitting bathtub. So there's a little line that you fill your bathtub up to. And this is Toto Washlet toilet. Okay, so opposite the toilet on the wall are the control buttons for the toilet, which we'll get to in a minute. Usually in Japanese hotels you get your shampoo, your conditioner and your body wash for the shower, so you don't have to take that with you. Let's have a little look. Ah, here we go, controls for the toilet. Stop button, most important. So power spray for the men, that's for the rear end. Okay, then you get soft spray, so more of a sprinkle for your bottom there, and you can increase the pressure or decrease the pressure of your wash. And this is lady spray, so this is the lady spray direction. I'll let you figure it all out yourself, guys. And yeah, you've got the emergency stop button there. Okay, and obviously nozzle cleaning. Yeah, super Toto Washlet. Okay. So guys, little video of the room there. You can see how tiny it is. It is tiny. Now Tokyo hotels are notorious for being tiny rooms, but to be honest with you, this is all you need. So if you're visiting Tokyo or you're visiting Japan, some of the other cities have slightly bigger rooms, but if you're staying in Tokyo, then this is what to expect. It is tiny. You can see, if I go back through this video, you can see this is the window. You turn, you've got your TV, gap at the end of the bed, and that is the door out. That is the small bathroom that you just saw. And then if I turn around, you get to see the desk, chair, and that is the floor room. So that is all your floor room there. As you can imagine, with two big cases, it gets quite crowded in this room. But all you're using this for is to crash at night. You get up in the morning, you get out, you do your things, you get back sort of 7 or 8 in the evening, sometimes a little bit earlier, get some food, and just come and watch wacky Japanese TV and stuff like that. So this is quite a nice room for Tokyo. Thank you, Mr. Trophy, for the okay, so he's kind of like coming in with words like, so bum washer, okay, that's toilet, and then we got okonomiyaki pancake, which must have been what he was eating, and then we got full power baby, clean that colon. Okay, So that's a bit too much information for the Toto washerette. But we're talking about the room now, so yeah. So we get a desk and a mirror on this side, a little bit of room at the end of the bed, which is handy for stacking one case, and then the other case has to go on the floor near the door. Okay, so yeah, so all you need is a place to crash. So this is perfect. This hotel has vending machines. You can get breakfast here if you want to, but we chose not to. And you've got your TV, you've got VODs on there, films and things like that you can watch in other languages. So you can watch in English, Spanish, German, all that. So whatever language you want to watch in. Then we get the very small bathroom round this way. So let's see where we're going next. Oh, we don't want to look at that. That's my bottom. Mr. Trophy, did you put that in there? That's me asleep. So let's go. Oh no, go back. Let's pause. Right. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. That was my rather large booty. That's when I was asleep on the bed. Naughty Mr. Trophy putting that one in there. How embarrassing. Yeah, I do like tartan, by the way, guys. Yeah, so the room is great. The room is a little bit more spacious than we have experienced before. We have stayed in Nihonbashi, the business district, which is just up the road from Ginza, not far away from Tokyo Central, and the room was smaller than that. The bed was smaller, so the bed was like a large single bed, and there was just room down one side of the bed, so we didn't have the space at the end of the bed, and that was extremely small hotel room. I've probably got pictures of that somewhere that I could show you in another stream about Japan, visiting Japan. Maybe we'll do a stream about visiting Japan on a budget and stuff like that. Then we can show you some of the hotel rooms that we've stayed in. So we always do a little video or few little photos of the hotel room wherever we go, even if we go in somewhere in Europe or anywhere. It's always good to look at hotel rooms and remember what they look like in case you want to go back to that hotel, and then you can remind yourself. So part of our trip to Japan is watching wacky Japanese TV. So this guy on here now is a trans guy. Obviously he dresses as a lady. I can't remember his name, but it's someone deluxe, and he's on a lot of wacky Japanese TV. We've seen him all 3 times we've been to Japan. We've seen him on the TV. He's a bit of a larger than life character, and the fun thing about watching Japanese TV is trying to work out what's going on, because if you don't speak Japanese or you can't read Japanese, which me and Mr. Trophy can't, we can speak a bit of Japanese and we can pick out words and that sort of thing. And Mr. Trophy's a bit better than me, so he can probably pick out the odd sentence or two and work out what's going on. But the whole fun of it is to watch it and try and work out what's going on. So on this particular video, I think Mr. Trophy videoed this, and they were doing taste tests on donuts. So this guy, they were like, oh my god, he must have eaten about 10 donuts in the whole program. But I think Mr. Trophy just did a little video so you could see wacky Japanese TV. Okay, so we'll press play. I'll turn it up. Let's go back and watch again. So Mr. Trophy says, is this really the guy you want to advertise donuts? So this is obviously a program about after sweets and anything that is naughty and bad for you, or good for you, depending on how you look at it. This one makes me laugh so much, guys. So this is kind of thing they advertise on Japanese TV. This is Tokyo MX TV, and they are advertising this exercise device. I'm sorry, but every time I watch this, it makes me really laugh because it's just so comical. They do this, and then they get the people to say what they think, and it's just so funny, guys. I just can't help myself but laugh. It's quite hilarious. So they go through and they'll get the origin to try it. The uncle and auntie there at the train station. Apparently it's a very good exercise device, fun to improve your core. So, so it's like shopping TV. It's like you don't just get one, you get two, and it's just for 28,000 yen or something, and you get this and you get that. And it's just like general shopping, but it's just made me laugh because it was just a very comical device. Just a bouncy chair. Mic's too close again. Sorry. Wow, I need one of those, Mr. Trophy. You need one as well. So if we buy the offer, we get one free. So yeah, you can see all the. Let's see how much we've only got one. There you go. Look, just 12,980 yen, and then you don't just get one, you get two. You buy one, get one free, and then you get the exercise book free as well. Yeah, the number's there, guys, if you want it. It's it's 0120 888 222, and you want me to do it in Japanese, I know. So let me think. 0 1 2 0, can't remember what 8 is. 2 2 2. I keep wanting to say hyaku, but it's not, because that's 100. I think it's hachi maybe. Chini-san shigo. Yeah. Anyway. Let's have a look what's next. Right, guys. Just to prove that I wasn't lying about the heat wave when I went there. Look at these lovely temperatures. 22, 21, 20. Oh, absolutely lovely it was. We took, Hachi. I know it's Hachi, Mr. Trophy. Yeah, I remembered now. So, these lovely temperatures kept us very pleasantly warm. We took all our jumpers and coats because we thought it was going to be more like 10 to 12 degrees, but no, heat wave hit the day we got there and ended the day we left. Yummy. Oh, more wacky Japanese TV. So, Mr. Trophy tells me that this program here, there's a couple of videos on this. This program here is, they have contestants, and the contestants aren't allowed to show any fear. So they have to watch and they have to do these things without showing any fear. And the weird thing about this guy is his glasses. He's got one round lens and one square lens. I've never seen that before. It's so strange. So he has to watch these people do this little bungee jump, and then he has to show no fear. So hopefully the other videos are on here. Uh-oh. So you can see he's shaking and he's frightened, so he's out of the quiz. He's out of the contest. Okay. As with Japanese TV, a lot of you probably know they do like their contests and getting people to endure the most awful things. Like now he has to go and endure a date with this lady. Who's really squeezing up the old, what I'm going to say are man boobies. Okay, let's see what we've got next. Oh yes, the sea slug. Yes, indeed. This contest is to see what vile, disgusting things people can eat. And they do eat them. They do eat sea slugs in Japan and other things that we'll get to in a minute. So this is just a bit of random Japanese TV. So we have sea slug. Okay, so we got the sea slug cooked. Yeah, Mr. Trophy can't believe his eyes. At least you get some miso. Yeah, indeed. And yeah, they did. They ate that. Ooh. Not as bad as the next one got, but believe me, guys, you are gonna love the next one. That is what they are going to eat. So this, if you haven't seen one of these, it looks a little bit like an alien from a different country, or maybe a baby predator or something like that, from the film Predator, that is. Trying local delicacies. Okay, so that's what this program is about. This is a hagfish, guys. So hagfish are eel-like creatures. I do believe they could be a parasitic type creature like a lamprey, but this is their mouth end, and hagfish are known for how much mucus and sticky goo they produce. So you will be able to see that on this person's hands, so you can see all this sort of gooey stuff on his hands, and it's running down here. And next we have a little video, and the very first part of the video, I think it's next, is them actually trying to get some of this goo off of the hagfish when they've caught them. Here we go. So it's got frozen hagfish, which are in the stores. So here we go. Look at that goo coming off. Absolutely disgusting. Now you can buy these in the shops by the looks of it. Nearly 1,000 yen for 3 or 4 of them. And in a minute they're just going to show cooking up this hagfish. So let's move on. Okay. So Mr. Trophy's quite excited about this, you can hear. He wants to try the hagfish. Something sort of like coming out of... Oh, and it comes out like a poo. So this is what they get to eat. Okay, so it's all cooked and ready, and the stuff's still sort of oozing out. So this lady, Auntie's going to try first, and she says "oishi," which means delicious. I don't think she really meant that though. I think she was just saying that. And this poor family, look at their faces, they're in dread. Look at this one's face. I don't have to eat that, do I? Please eat it all up before you pass it down. And you can see some weird stuff that they ate here, like starfish. This was the sea cucumber. This was the hagfish. I can't remember what that is. That is bitter stem, I think. I've had that in Malaysia and it's quite nice. And this was red beans, but they were huge. They were huge, and I really like red beans as well, especially when they're inside a pancake. Okay, so let's see what we've got next. Just some random pictures, guys, I think, to finish off. This is some more of the pictures of the castle in Kanazawa. And again, this is Kanazawa. It's a little chunk there in the picture again. Getting some limelight. Okay. Another picture of Fuji. So Mount Fuji is locally known as Fujisan or Fujiyama. It's not the same sort of san you use when you greet someone. So if you sometimes with acquaintances and that, you'd call them by their name and then you'd add san after it. So like I'd call Mr. Trophy San. I probably wouldn't, because I know him so well that I wouldn't even put the san on the end. I would just probably... Recently I learnt that you can just say trophy, and that means oi, oi, something like that. So Japanese have these lovely little gardens where they grow sort of flowers and vegetables. This is in the Mount Fuji area, and next picture, I think. So this is the same garden here, but this is Mount Fuji in the background, and the cherry blossoms. Just looks beautiful. This is Mount Fuji area again. We just took this photo because we quite like the blue roofs. Now you might think that we took this photo for the picture of Mount Fuji, but we are actually inside the bus here, and we got a picture of my favourite restaurant. So this is my favourite restaurant, or should I say convenience store. 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven in Japan is amazing. It has an amazing variety of sushi foods, sushi and sashimi and steam buns and stuff like that. So I like going into 7-Eleven at the end of a busy day. You get back to Tokyo and it's like 7 o'clock and you're thinking, I just want to go back and rest now. I'm just going to go to 7-Eleven, grab some food, and you go in there and you get some sushi and a pancake and some jelly and fruit for breakfast, and all the other naughty stuff, but absolutely superb. So this photo is actually a photo of 7-Eleven in Japan. So there we go. Yummy food on a budget. That is the amusement fun park that we saw earlier on from the top of the Mount Fuji viewpoint. And this is back on the bus now, guys. Okay, so we've got some random Shinkansen pictures. In this picture tells quite a lot. Okay, so this is the Shinkansen. So these are where the doors stop. So when the train stops, this is the platform door and this is the train door. They stop in a line, so they stop at the perfect spot. Okay, so you have to stay behind the yellow line until you're getting on the train. Okay, so queuing for the train is done here. So this is for the first train, so you queue on here for the first train, and these people are queuing for this door. This line will be for the door that's up here, out of sight. So if they were getting on the second train, they would queue in this line. Up here on the board, you can see this is the type of Shinkansen. So you get different types of Shinkansen that stop at different stops. So you'll get one that goes direct and doesn't stop at any other stops. I can't remember what it's called. Namichi or something like that. And then you get ones. I think this is the one that doesn't stop in the yellow. This one is the Kodama. If you're on the Tokaido Shinkansen line, Kodama is one that stops at some of the stops, not all of the stops. And then there's the other one, Hik or something, Hikoriki or something like that, which stops at all the stops. I think I might have got them around the wrong way. I think this might be the Hikoriki one and this is the Kodama one. But this tells you the time that the Shinkansen will arrive. And this tells you where it's going. And generally this will tell you here, this is non-reserved seats. So carriage 1 to 6 and 15 to 16 you can get on if you haven't reserved a seat. If you have reserved a seat, you can go to your carriage and get on your reserved seat, get to your reserved seat. But generally we don't reserve seats, so we tend to go on these two types of Shinkansen. So with the JR Pass, you can use these two free, but not this one. So the one that doesn't stop at any stops, that goes direct to the destination. So if you're going Tokyo to Osaka, say, then this would be, it would probably stop in Kyoto and Osaka, and that would be it. You wouldn't stop at any other stops. And you would have to pay to go on this one. It wouldn't be free with the Japan Rail Pass. Okay, so that tells you a little bit about the Shinkansen station. This is Tokyo Central again. Let's see what was next. Okay, so this is one of the older bullet trains. I think this is the Tokaido line, so I think this is the one that goes between Tokyo, Kyoto and Osaka. And this one is painted in the green colour. I watched a little YouTube the other day about the different generations of Shinkansen, which was really interesting. Just put that in there. This is the newer Shinkansen. This is the one that we went on. A very aerodynamic shape. Mr. Trophy can't fit the whole train in the picture because he wants to look at the front. Okay, and this is on the Shinkansen going along the flats into the mountains. You can see a lot of the little fields that people work and farm on. In Japan, there's still a lot of small farming going on, so they don't have great big vast farms and that. It's all done on small scale. You can see all the little tiny fields there. So doesn't look like we're going all that fast at the moment, so we're probably coming into or going out of a station. It feels like it might be accelerating a little bit now. The good thing about the Shinkansen is that you can see quite a lot of the countryside in a short time, so it's quite nice to get a glimpse of sort of like the more rural side of Japan and the more rural housing. For those of you that watch anime, you'll probably find a lot of this rural setting familiar to what is in anime, the housing and the small fields that they farm on. Okay. let's see what's next. We've probably got more. So we're going a little bit faster on this one, so it feels a little bit strange. Um, I think we're doing about 150 miles an hour there. 150 miles an hour, so that's not the maximum speed, but it does go up to quite a speed. This is quite a nice shot, slightly forward. You can just see the mountains coming up, and we're probably about to enter a tunnel by the looks of it. Yeah, it's a very dark tunnel. There was a lot of very long tunnels there, and one of the tunnels we went through was like 10 kilometres long, so goes under the mountains. Let's have a look. So this is quite an interesting one. This tells us how fast we're going on the GPS. So we're going 150 miles an hour here, and still accelerating slightly. And we'll have another look outside. You can see it's quite a built up town here. Now we're going 165 miles per hour, 166. And now it's dropping back down again, so it's not the fastest that they go, so I think between when you're going up towards Sendai, up north, northern Honshu, it's they get up to around 200 miles an hour there. So it's quite exciting. I think we've come to the end of the show, guys. I can't believe it. So that was our trip to Japan this time. So yeah, we had some good times and some more stressful times. Like we got to our hotel. No, we got to Japan. We got to Haneda Airport. We were standing waiting for our luggage, and our luggage didn't arrive. And lovely lady at Haneda Airport helped us out, and she come back to us and she said, "Your luggage is still in London." So I kind of thought, okay, that's okay, because I'm like a Boy Scout, guys, or a brownie, or whatever you want to call us, you know, brownies, scouts, all the same. I'm prepared. So on my carry-on bag, when I go on a flight, I always take my freshen up bag, which is so I can have a wash or freshen up, and I take clothing and a couple of sets of underwear and socks, and that just for this eventuality that your luggage gets lost. So it gives you a bit of time to go and buy new clothes or whatever and that. So luckily Mr. Trophy had some in his carry-on as well, some underwear and socks, and I had a spare set of clothes luckily as well. Yeah, so we had to wait 2 days for our luggage to turn up, but it was lovely, delivered very early in the morning on the second day. It was delivered around 5 a.m. to the hotel, so I can't fault the service in Japan, and how they looked after us and kept us posted on what was happening with our luggage, and actually, you know, having it sent through to the hotel by Takuben, which is like Takuben is like a courier service for luggage. It's great in Japan because of the amount of people there. They have this service because when you travel from city to city, there isn't room on Shinkansen or buses or whatever you travel on to take masses of luggage. So they have this service called Takuben, and that is something like Kuro Neko, which means black cat. So they have this takuben called Black Cat, and they will come to your hotel, they will collect your luggage, and they will deliver it to your next hotel. So then you just carry your handbag, or if you want to take a rucksack with some refreshments in it, you just carry that to your train or bus, and then when you get to your hotel, either your luggage is there already or your luggage will arrive shortly after you. So it's an excellent service, and I have used it before, and yeah, just not having to worry about lugging your luggage around is fantastic. So anyone visiting Japan with multi-stops, like if you're going to Hokkaido, Tokyo, then Kyoto, really use this service because it is absolutely superb. And their timing is impeccable. So they say they told us it would be there at 4:45 a.m. and it was there at 4:45 a.m. So yeah, we were pretty lucky that the luggage came through pretty quick. It was only 2 days, so to get from London to Japan, it's not too bad. Yeah, that was Finnair, and so they lost our luggage, or they left our luggage after telling us to put it on a trolley because they wouldn't send it down the conveyor belt. It never turned up, and I was waiting for it, so I had it in my head that it wasn't going to turn up anyway. So luckily we got our names on our luggage, so they could find it quite easily with the description of it. So it was pretty good. And apart from that, the Finnair flight, the aeroplane was really good. Really nice. They do land like a brick, you know. Landings were very heavy. I thought I actually had some landings on here to show you guys, but maybe on another stream we'll do a budget trip to Japan ideas. We'll look at some of the cheaper airlines you can get flights on. So yeah, Finnair, the planes were very clean, very smart, very new, and that nice. The food was not very nice, and the service was not very nice. Like most sort of flights you go on, long haul flights, you'll get as many drinks as you want, courtesy drinks. This flight they were a bit stingy with the drinks. They would only give you sort of like water or blueberry juice, courtesy free. The other drinks we had two drinks, I think, where we were allowed a beer or a glass of wine or a soda, or as we say, a fizzy drink, or juice or something. I only brought them round twice in a 13-hour flight. The other times it would be sort of like you'd have to go back to the galley and get yourself drinks. The free snacks were sort of like biscuits, like a biscuit. I've still got one actually. It's like a dried oat biscuit, or they had some of the sushi rice in the triangle. You know, can't remember what they call it, with sort of like just a seaweed in it, and that was all they had options for sort of like free snacks. Like before, when we've gone on flights like Malaysian Airlines or BA, Singapore Airlines. You go back to the galley, they have sandwiches, crisps, chocolate bars, all free of charge, for you to just have a snack, and yeah, sadly it was a little bit poor on the old Finnair. That. Um, on the way to Japan, I was in the middle seat, and there was a lovely Japanese lady sat next to me, and unfortunately, the bloke in the opposite seat, the man, the chap in the opposite seat, dropped his bag on her head, and it hit her in the face, and it was very heavy, and we called the attendant over for some ice packs and stuff, and the poor lady had big swelling on her face, and she kept getting and the man was just not apologetic at all, and I felt like punching him in the face, but I'm not a violent person, and yeah, I wouldn't do that. And at the end of the flight, it's like a 13-hour flight, lady showed me her face, and it was all bruised and swollen, and this man just, I would say, if that was me and I was on that flight and I dropped my bag on someone's head, the first thing I would do would be calling the attendant, explain what happened, then I would try and see if there was anything we could do to help, to ease the pain or to stop the swelling, ice packs and that sort of thing, and you'd be very apologetic, and and I would have thought that the cabin crew would have checked on her now and again, to make sure she was okay, being that she'd been hit on the head and in the face, but they didn't seem to come up to her unless she called them over. But yes, unfortunate flight for her, because she didn't get much rest or anything because of this accident. But anyway, that was the flight there. Yeah, like it was like a bowling ball in weight. Jesus, that bag was so heavy. Anyway, guys, I don't know if I've got much else to tell you about Japan. We got some things we bought back, which I can show you in another stream maybe when we get my camera back on, and I can show you them on the camera. Bought some new soft toys for the back of my car, because it has Japanese soft toys in the back, because I'm a big baby and very immature, and I just love everything all Japanese, Japan, anything, Japanese food, Japanese toys, Japanese anime, Japanese TV, games, anything. I don't think I've missed anything out important that I was going to mention. I did have a few things. The rail card's really easy to get, and really easy to use, so I'm going to go through that on another stream. So I'm going to make another Japan stream about visiting Japan, and how to get around, best ways to get around, best ways to eat on a budget. It's not all about convenience food, by the way. There are noodle bars and stuff like that you can go to and eat. Japanese politeness, yes, I need a few lessons in that, because I am naughty and sit on the floor and walk whilst I'm eating and point at things, and yeah. So we'll go through some Japanese etiquette and just general, if you're visiting Japan, here's how to do it. So yeah, just like to say thanks for joining me, Mr. Trophy, at work there, and thanks for popping in and having me on the background, just so people can get the words like onigiri, which is the triangle shaped sushi rice thing. Yeah, point. Yeah, I know about pointing. Yeah, and help me along with some of the bits and words and things that I can't remember. So that was our trip to Japan and our third trip to Japan, and we're already thinking about our next trip. So yeah, watch this space. I'd like to just say, yeah, thanks to Mr. Trophy, thanks for Wolfie, love my Wolfie friend. Thanks for popping in. I can see he's now busy on his stream. I wouldn't stop him from his stream because I know how much he loves to do his stream. So Wolfie G, guys, if you want to pop in and see Angry Aussie playing Scum Survival, it's Wolfie and then G double E in capitals, and you should be able to find his channel there. I know there was a few other people that wanted to watch this stream that haven't been able to make it on this occasion, but it's going to be here and it will be put on my YouTube channel as well, so if they've missed it they can see it. So for Benny and Biggs, they'll probably want to pop in and see it, and Finor, lovely Finor, busy making his models, will probably want to see it as well. So it will be on the YouTube channel and it will be also on Twitch for a little while. So it should be on there for a couple of months, so you can catch it there. So, we're playing again. We're going to watch this one again. We just went back one. Just before we finish up, we'll watch us speeding along on the Shinkansen. And then, yeah, and we'll watch the next one. This is the last one with the speed. And then we're going to finish up, guys. Bit of a different stream today, so next time we will be back on Mario 64, I think, because we're having a little break from the old Tomb Raider because we got to a grinding halt on that. So next time will be Tuesday, maybe tomorrow if I do feel like doing an interim stream, not sure, but we will be doing Mario 64 on Tuesday definitely, and then maybe next month sometimes we'll put together a stream about visiting Japan if you want to visit, and how to do it on a budget, and things that you really should pay for, don't try and scrimp on. So yes, we will do that. We'll look at some of the Japanese toys we've got and some of the little trinkets and things that we brought back from Japan as well. And we can have a look at Mr. Trophy's dollies as well. Caught him playing with his dollies the other day actually, and I did notice an additional Reno and Rude had arrived. So yes, well that's that then, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Give us a follow or a like if you liked the trip to Japan stream. It will be on Twitch for a while, and it will be on YouTube forever, I expect, once I've sent it over there. Okay, thanks for joining me, guys, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.